Hey Shogi fans, this is Hidechi. In this video, I'm going to show you a basic theory of double wing attack opening. Double wing attack opening starts by black pawn 2f, white pawn 8d, and then black pawn 2e. And here white will play pawn to 8e. They go right ahead and push the rook pawns. Now instead of keep pushing the pawn and go pawn to 2d, the standard move line tells us to go to 7h, defending 8g square, the weak point of the bishop. Oh, and by the way, defending there with the silver is not very good, because you see the bishop and the silver are not connected, so it's not a good structure. So remember, always defend there by the gold when playing double static rook opening. So now white 2 will play go to 3b and protect the bishop's head. And after that, you can go ahead and push the pawn to 2d, pawn takes, and rook recaptures, and he drops the pawn to 2c, and you retreat the rook. One option is to take it back to your camp, rook to 2h, but this will give white an opportunity to make pawn exchange. So maybe a common way is to retreat back to 2f and defend the 8f square. Alright, so this is the basic position of double wing attack opening. From this position, it goes into pretty difficult josekis, but today I want to explain you something else. So I'm going to rewind the moves a little. Here, at this position, I told you to move the gold to 7h and defend the bishop's weak point. But you might wonder, why not just go ahead and push the pawn? Well, this will bring us into one of the most famous joseki, and if you go pawn to 2d here, it'll end up as a bad situation for black. White will take the pawn, and rook takes back. Now white will play pawn to 8f, and after you take it, and rook recaptures, now it's your turn to drop the pawn, and he drops the pawn too. So you're always attacking faster than him. You can take the bishop first, so it seems you're doing pretty well here. But actually, this is not exactly what happens, because at this position, after he took the pawn, he won't take it by the rook. Well, look at here. He has a pawn. Well, it's because you made a pawn exchange in the second file. So, he will drop it to 8g. Now white is the one who can take the bishop first. Now black will play pawn drop to 2c, but white takes the bishop. Now just keeping taking the pieces is of course good for white, right? He gained material, and the black's king is in a very vulnerable position. So, after white took the bishop, black will have to retake it by the silver, and here white will make the best use of this bishop that he just got and drop it to here, forking the rook and the pawn here. Well, ignoring it and taking the bishop is not so good, because you're going to lose the rook. Even if you can take another piece, it's obviously good for white. So at this position, where white has dropped the bishop, you'll have to let the rook escape. White will promote the bishop to 5g, and now black can take the bishop, but white takes it with the rook. So rook takes and promote, silver retakes. Well, at this position, this horse is too powerful, so it's not a good position for black. Well, this is just an example, but if black doesn't want to let white to take any of these pawns, he's going to have to move the gold to here. But well, in this case, white won't move this horse. He's going to just drop the rook to here. So black is losing. So basically, this is why you can't just go ahead and push the pawn to 2d without protecting the bishop by gold to 7h. Oh, and by the way, at this position, white took it by the rook. But how about taking it with the silver? Well, actually, this is not a good move. If he takes by the silver, now black can take advantage of this position. Well, it's bishop drop to 3f. He's threatening to promote to this square. But his only way to protect this square is protected by the rook, right? Because otherwise the rook's protection to this silver is blocked. So black will win. So after rook 6b, what's black's good move? Well, some of you might found this, but well, this is way too much to do. After it's taken, well, yeah, you can take the silver, but white's rook's threat to this square is too powerful, and you gave him a bishop. So actually this is not a good way. Now have you found the answer? Well, your pawn here is taken by the horse, right? So that means you can drop a pawn to this file. So yeah, pawn drop to 5b. An excellent move. It's a check, and also blocking the rook's protection to the silver. So white has to take it with the rook, and now black can promote the bishop, and this position is pretty good for black. So that's why white shouldn't take the promoted pawn on 2b by the silver. He had to take it by the rook. Oh, and also, one more thing. When you played bishop to 3f, white has another way to reply here. He can drop the pawn to 2g. Black will have to take it so as to keep attacking the silver. But then white will take the pawn, also attacking the silver, because the rook's protection to this silver is now off. Well, black can just take the silver, but he's gonna lose 1-2, and it's a threat mate, starting from silver drop to 6h. So black will play pawn drop to 8g, but here, instead of taking the rook back, white can now take the bishop, and after black recapture, he can drop a pawn to 2f. Black will take it so as to keep attacking the silver, but you see the next move here, right? Bishop 1e, a skewer. Rook drop to 2e, bishop takes 2f, rook recaptures, and maybe pawn to 2c. Now black's attack isn't successful here. This horse is powerful. But well, actually black did something wrong in the moves you've seen. Well, it's here. When white took the bishop, yeah, you don't reply to his move. Just go ahead and take the silver. So black's doing better in the game. Alright, now I'll have to explain one more thing. Here, when white played pawn to 8f, after you took it, white dropped the pawn and took the bishop first, right? But some of you might wonder, if black doesn't want to let the opponent to take the bishop first, why not ignore this pawn push and go ahead and drop the pawn to 2c? Well, it sounds rational enough. White will promote the pawn, but then black can take the bishop first, just as he wanted. This time black's is the faster, so white won't just keep taking. This is not what white does. He'll calmly take back the promoted pawn. Now here, the problem here for black is that his rook is out of his camp. So after white took a bishop, he has a good bishop drop to here, as you've seen. And also white is threatening to win material here by taking the bishop, because after that, black can retake it by the silver, because the rook is here. So probably the best way for black to do is take back the rook to his camp, avoiding the bishop drop here, and also defending this square. But well, after he took the bishop, for instance, black will recapture it. And look at this position. Do you notice something? Although black was the one who attacked first, their deployment on the board is exactly the same, and it's white's turn to play. And moreover, look at the pieces in their hands. White has gained one pawn from black, so it's obviously not good for black. And taking it with the rook, it's the same thing. See, exactly the same deployment, and it's white's turn to play. And what is more, at this position, white even has a much better move than taking the bishop. You know what that is? Well, if you can find this move, you must be a very strong player. Well, instead of taking the bishop, it's pawn drop to 8f. An excellent play. Well, now he's threatening to promote another pawn after taking the bishop. An extremely big threat to black. And you see, it's very difficult for black to remove that threat. Defending thereby the gold, for instance, doesn't help. Well, if white took the bishop, now black has defended this square. But well, white won't take the bishop. Yeah, he'll take the gold. And promote. Alright, so starting from the initial position, in the fifth move, remember, play gold to 7h. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.